Hey, before I start this video, I just want to say thanks for the small amount of views I've been getting lately since Space Marine 2 came out. I've actually been recording and posting a video every day. I think I haven't missed a day yet. Space Marine 2 kind of allowed me to restart this channel. And if you haven't noticed, this actually is a very old channel. I just always had major roadblocks getting in my way, preventing me from doing this. Now those roadblocks are finally gone and I can start putting in the time and effort I've wanted to for years. But I currently work a 4-10 schedule, which is I work 4 days a week, and 4 days a week, 10 hours a day. And so I make and edit these videos with very little energy left after I've come home, as I deliver patio furniture, so I'm sore and tired every day from it. Yet somehow I'm still able to get in a video like this recorded, edited, fully written script in just under 2 hours, and this is without the time it takes to upload the video. So I appreciate everyone and everyone who happens to find this channel and putting in a few minutes to watch them. I'm pretty sure a lot of these videos aren't fully watched in its entirety, but even just a few minutes is enough to say thanks. Now I'll go onto the video. Space Marine 2 seems to be gaining traction with the recent remarks made by the CEO of Saber Interactive, the developers behind the game, that he purposefully wanted to make the game feel old school and to go back to a simpler time when games were just that, a game. You pick it up, you play the game, and that's all there was to it. This is evident almost immediately when you start the game's campaign. Not only does it look and play like Space Marine 1, but you can also say that if you look back at Space Marine 1 felt played almost like Gears of War, for example. Gears of War was a simple game back in the day. But the controls themselves are simple to learn, with no learning curve other than getting your reaction timing down to perform perfect dodges, which is, in the game, when you see the orange circle pop up from an enemy, means it's an unblockable, you gotta dodge it. But if you time it just right, it becomes a perfect dodge, and you'll be allowed to follow up with what's called a gun strike, which gets in some quick damage, and sometimes it'll turn into an execution. You can perform another gun strike again to execute that enemy. But also brings back the feeling that we all miss, which is just to play the game without being hit with FOMOs, or fear of missing out, and battle passes. I miss out all too frequently on timed events because of my current schedule, which I'll get into later, and kind of the reason why I decided to try YouTube again. But going in head first, guns blazing into the thick of it, and clamping down hard this time around. My personal library only has 3 games with battle passes that either I play actively or semi-regularly: Smite, Call of Duty, and Helldivers. But Smite, I'm always able to finish, while Call of Duty not so much because of the burnout, just from playing so many of the same thing. And Helldivers I don't have to worry about, since their battle passes are there to stay for the game's duration. Be able to put my own time into it rather than being forced on the game's time when it's not good time for me. This brings me to Space Marine 2. The most recent release. I love the Warhammer universe. It's pretty obvious from the last week and a half or so of videos I've been putting up. It's all Space Marine 2, or Warhammer. So it's pretty obvious I'm into the 40K version of Warhammer. My 2 biggest franchises currently in my Steam library is the entire library of Command & Conquer. And then my second biggest franchise in my Steam library is Warhammer, with games like Dawn of War. I have Dawn of War 2, I've got Dawn of War the Game of the Year edition. I have Inquisitor Martyr, I have Chaos Gate, Demon Hunter, Chaos Gate Demon Hunters, where you exclusively play as the Grey Knights, and Grey Knights are my favorite faction. And then I've got Battle Sector, and anything and everything in between that's Warhammer related that doesn't start with Warhammer in the beginning. So, I got Dark Tide, I've got Total War, things like that. You can play this game, enjoy the game, but you don't have to actually like Warhammer. For me, I don't like I'm not big of a fan on Warhammer Age of Sigmar, which is Warhammer's fantastical version of the universe. But I do love playing Vermintide because Vermintide is a horde. It's a horde mode. It's a horde shooter. It's a first person horde game, and there's what's not to like about that. It is set in the Warhammer Age of Sigmar, but again, I don't like Age of Sigmar, but I love Vermintide. That's what Space Marine 2 offers. You don't have to like Warhammer 40,000, but you can still enjoy the aspect of it being a horde shooter. The fact that Space Marine 2 is getting put on the spotlight makes it all the more sweeter. Not only is this good publicity for the game, but it's also acting as a beacon to potentially draw in newcomers to this universe. Saber Interactive just wanted to make a fun game with an arguably fun gameplay loop, though it sort of takes a back seat once the game switches over to Chaos, and in my opinion the game wasn't as fun when it just dropped the NIDs altogether and then we started focusing on Chaos. I just like being in the middle of a horde, whereas Chaos, you kind of have to play with cover because you are getting shot at a lot more when dealing with the Heretic Astartes as well as the Heretic forces. But it's still a good way to lure in players who love the horde shooter genre. Even if you don't like or never heard of Warhammer 40k, you'll still find plenty of fun in tearing apart hordes of NIDs. Like me, I just stated I don't like Age of Sigmar, but I love horde games, and that's why I have Vermintide 2. Hoping that more future games will take inspiration from Black Myth Wukong and Space Marine 2 leaves positive outlook that maybe, just maybe, the games industry can recover from feeling like it has to include all these FOMO events, all these battle passes just to stay relevant and to turn a profit. Limited time events, when you already have to deal with a battle pass on top of that, some games will do that. Destiny 2 will have it's not what they call seasons, which is their take on battle passes. The seasons do last a little bit longer than a standard battle pass, which is around 35 days. Known for adding in limited time events within the limited time events. So it's more time that you got to put into that game, and you probably don't want it, but you want the items from it. But you just don't have time in your schedule to do that. This is why I'm able to enjoy Smite enough that I never have to focus on the battle pass. I just always finish the battle pass and I don't even think about it. But I also don't buy the battle pass either. There's not enough in those battle passes for those of you that ever played Smite, when they first introduced battle passes, they had 3 skins. Now they just have 2. One that's you get for unlocking the battle pass, buying it, and one for reaching level 60. There was also one for reaching level 30, but it was a reskin. But they did change the free track, so now every single level in the free track of that battle pass gives you something. Whether it's an experience boost, you get to use a free skin, or it's a free skin booster, unlock skins for your entire team that isn't unlimited or limited skins. So it's a good way to keep you engaged without knowing that you're grinding for those items. Again, Smite is fun enough for me. I enjoy the game. It doesn't need a battle pass, but it's kind of there as a bonus for someone like me. But I can't say the same for Call of Duty. Call of Duty can only hold my attention for around 2 to 3 games a day or every other day. I can't really do Call of Duty anymore. I don't really care much for that game. Helldivers, I actually love that I can put in the time whenever I want without worrying about the battle pass going away. Whenever I feel like playing it, put some time into it, get some of the credits, and then just do whatever I want, and I don't have to worry about it going away. I haven't even started the newest battle pass, whatever it is, with the flamethrower and all that. But I don't have to worry about it because it's going to be there when next time I decide to boot up Helldivers. Space Marine 2, however, I'll never have to worry about any of that. It's one of those games where if you just want to play and kill some time, this is that game. It's not a chore. It's not demanding hours and hours of your time. It's not rubbing items in your face that'll only be around for a week or 2. It's not showing you a 34 days left timer in the corner of your screen. It just wants you to sit back and enjoy yourself, either by yourself or with some friends. Space Marine 2 is a game night kind of game, and we need more of those in today's climate. I love Smash Bros. Just as much as the next person, and I don't mind Mario Party or Mario Kart. Those are all perfect examples. I mean, Nintendo in general, perfect example of game night. But sometimes tearing apart enemies in tidal waves of blood and gore in the name of the Emperor is also a good way to mix things up a bit. I will end the video here with a simple thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day or your night. Think of something positive, find your mindset with your favorite song, and enjoy yourself. Until next time, guys.